Hello, 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 and welcome back to Talking to Tequila with Chloe. That's me, Chloe. And for you, this will be your first introduction hearing for this week. But for me, it's actually been my third introduction. I've started this podcast 3 times. I literally sound like a moron. Like, I keep starting my podcast and just talking about shit that isn't really real and doesn't exist. Sometimes when I start my podcast, welcome to Talking to Tequila with Chloe. If you're new here, welcome. I'm diving right into this week's episode. Some of my videos went viral this week on TikTok. So, and a few girls said girly squad, I didn't know you had a podcast, so I'm following you and subscribing right now. And I don't know if that put extra pressure on me this week. I felt like I really needed to show up and show out, which I do every week. But I was like, I really need to make this introduction fabulous so they stay. Because one thing about me, I know that in general, I'm pretty carefree, kind of. I'm actually pretty anal too. But I'm hey, I don't take this content creation thing too seriously. I'm just going to be myself and I just have faith that I'll make it one day. While at the same time, simultaneously, desperately wanting to make it because there is nothing I want to do more in this world than be a full-time entertainer. I want to churn out content every single day for my people, because I consume content every day. So I know how important it is to have content to consume. Me, I am very ritualistic. There are certain podcasters I like to listen to, certain videos I like to listen to. It is my form of flitzing away for a little bit into escapism. So sometimes I put so much pressure on myself to make sure I'm the funniest, make sure I'm the most, I started my podcast today, hi guys, welcome to the show. Let's do it. It's I'm sorry. Who the fuck do I think I am? A freaking newscaster on the 6 o'clock news? I just need to be myself today. So today we're going to do a No Kings protest, circle around. What's it called? Not a circle around. See, even right now, I could restart it because I feel like an idiot moron again, but that's okay. I'm not going to restart it. We're going to do a loop around, a roundabout, a walk back, a recap. I knew I was going to get to it if I kept talking. A recap of the No Kings protest, a little update on my dog Luna, a tequila time, surviving Mormonism with Heather Gay. She announced a docuseries coming out, the Louvre robbery, and then a little update on Gucci Mane, is it Gucci Mane or Gucci Man? Gucci Mane? I think it's Gucci Mane or Gucci Man. See, I always thought it was Gucci Man, but then when I wrote the story down, it was Mane. So maybe it's Gucci Mane. I'm not sure. Either way, he's an iconic artist that has been in all of our lives for so long now. And he came out with a very shocking revelation on The Breakfast Club this week. So I want to talk about that. And then, of course, this week's Chic C'est La Vie, Ça Va, Ça Va. If I want to do a Trust Clo Glow, I might at a certain point, because, of course, if I can give you guys recommendations of food, etc., I will. And then, of course, a Cluvy time, because I watched a excellent movie this week and I want to share the news with other people. Now, first things first, why am I maybe seeming a little frazzled and maybe a little crazy and a little desperate and a little crazed? It's because you are watching me come off the real-time news. I've already said that my dog Luna tore her meniscus and ACL, and she's probably gonna have to get a repair, and I have an appointment at an orthopedic surgeon, and it's gonna be money and this and that. It's different when the appointment actually happens. And so I'm sitting on this beautiful podcast studio set in my humble, median income Pittsburgh home, living paycheck to paycheck as one does in these times. And I'm told at Luna's orthopedic surgeon appointment today, she did tear it. 100% confirmed. Her regular vet already said it. But, sometimes I think, the orthopedic surgeon, they might have some magic fingers. They might be able to feel something around and go, it's not a tear, it's a sprain. Let's just ice it. Let's just do some physical therapy. No. Not only did they tell me that it's torn and she needs surgery, her last surgery was $6,000. Okay? Because she had her other leg torn 2 years ago. This time, it's quoted as $7,500, which I could cry if I think about it. I'll cry right now. I will cry right now. Don't tempt me. One thing me and my sister say to each other all the time, I'll cry right now. Don't show me that commercial. Don't show me that news story. I will cry right now. There's something about $6,000, which it sounds so much more kind of even, petite, not petite, it's a fuck ton of money, but like you can kind of, oh, well, that's 3,000 twice. Well, that's only 1,500 4 times. Oh, like I could just fraction it down in a way that's more palatable. 7,500 to me is almost 10. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Because she's older now and she needs this test before and she needs this test before and she needs this test before. So now that she's 12 and geriatric, we got to add a whole slew of pre-tests on before she can get her surgery. Now, I do want to say she has a mucosal in her gallbladder, which can be dangerous, and she gets ultrasounds to monitor that, and they need to do an ultrasound before her surgery. And I do want to ask, is there anything you would find in the ultrasound that would alter your plans on surgery? And if the answer is no, I'm going to say she's not getting it. She's not getting the ultrasound then. Now, if the answer is yes, I don't know, the mucosal's bigger, the mucosal's obstructing something, maybe. But it's like, God fucking damn. One thing about 2025, we are just getting fucked, aren't we, huh? We're getting fucked here. We're getting fucked there. We're getting fucked here. You know, I always say to my dad, you can watch my TikToks, but don't listen to my podcast because that's where I can really let my fucking freak flag fly. I'm getting fucked in every hole, honey. Every hole. You know, me and my friend Jordan said, like at the end of 2024, we're like, because every year just seems to like get worse, which is fucking crazy. I'm like, we're like 2025 is our year. It's our year. We're going to turn our luck around. And not only has it not been our year, you know, Jordan was laid up in the hospital for 2 months. You know, the fucking administration's trying to do a boomerang and one up fucking, you know, the worst atrocities in history. We're just getting fucked every single day. Every day. No lube, no condom. And now my dog said, oh, honey, I'm not going to just let the administration fuck you. I'm not just going to let politics fuck you. I'm going to join in. Tear my ACL. And I love the bitch. I love her dearly. And she technically is a female. And she technically is a mother. So that's not derogatory. That's just a fact. Thank you. And I love her. And she's a young 12-year-old. So I will be getting the surgery. You know, some people are like, oh, just do this or that. Luna's fucking insane. She's a crazy woman. She likes to tear around the house. She likes to play ball. She likes to do a bunch of different shit. So no, I'm not going to do this or that. I mean, the surgeon said she needs it. She needs surgery. That's the fact of the matter. And I'm going to get her the surgery because she's a young 12. And I feel she has at least 10 more years of life in her. For sure. And I want her to have, apparently, these Iron Man bionic legs. I'll tell you what, these legs better be so goddamn strong that in my old age, she can carry me up the stairs. They're going to be made, they better be made of goddamn titanium. And she better walk me through this life. Because this woman, she's going to have $14 fucking thousand legs. I need a neck lift. and I can't get it because it's $10,000, but Luna's got $14,000 legs. Wonderful. So I'm coming off of finding out that I need to figure out how to get $7,000 by December. It is possible because I'm not charging it. I'm not putting on a credit card. I am not putting on a motherfucking credit card. These credit card companies can kiss my ass, bitch. They take. Interest rate. Go fuck yourself. I would love to meet a credit card company and be like, fuck you. Fuck you. You know, sometimes you meet people in life and like, well, I don't know if I've ever met someone. I don't know if I've met someone in life that I would be like, oh, this is my time. It's not like you can just go say that to like anyone, right? But like, let's say you met, I'm trying to think of, like, let's say I met Putin in real life. I feel like I would be totally validated and being like, fuck you. Fuck you. What are you doing to your people? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing? And I would be totally validated in it. Whoa. And I do feel like if I met credit card companies, like if they manifested into people, I would also be able to be like, and fuck you too, buddy. You know what you do to people. It's hard times out here, you know? People, there's this like air of, oh, you need to, by the way, can we make up a segment name called By the Fucking Way? I'm writing that down. By the fucking way. Whose bright idea is it in this country who decided to go, you know what we should do to 18-year-olds? Immediately enroll them in hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in debt by pushing college on them, and also tell them they cannot progress in adult life unless they have something called a credit score. And guess what? A credit score is not fucking real. You want to talk about social constructs? A credit score is a social construct, baby. It's not fucking real. It was created by human beings. And they go, let's tell these people they cannot progress in life unless they have a credit score. And to get a credit score, you need a credit card. And guess what? Oh, credit cards are awesome. They'll give you points. Oh, do you want points to go to a restaurant? Do you want cash back rewards? No, bitch. I would have not been given a credit card at 20 when my brain wasn't even fucking functioning and fully fucking formed yet. Why are you giving me a credit card? You can't even drink alcohol till you're 21. And you're giving 18-year-olds $45,000 in debt, a dorm room, and a credit card? You're fucking crazy. And then you're mad at us when we're 30 in debt. Oh my God. It's the billionaires. It's always the billionaires. So if I saw a credit card company manifested into a person, I would tell them to fucking chew on rocks, bitch. Stub your big toe and fucking sit and spin. That's what I would tell a credit card company. So long story short, I will not be charging Luna's credit. I would not be charging Luna's card. I will not be charging Luna's surgery on a card. And I will figure out how to make $7,000 in a month and a half. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tiring. I think I'm going to have to work double full time. I think I'm going to work 6 days a week. How many hours is that? 72? Will I lose my mind? No. Maybe. 1 day a week off. Can I do it? 12-hour shifts. I think it's possible. People have done more for less. If I maintain my mental health, I can try to do it. 1 day off a week to brunch and straighten up the house. I think it's possible. Okay. I did ask my work if I could come back full time there and do something called the weekend program, which is work basically you have to work the weekends because the weekends are not a popular shift to work. So you have to work the weekends, but the benefit for you is that you get paid more money per hour. So you only have to work 2 days a week instead of 3 days a week, but you're considered a full-time employee, and then you get a higher hourly rate to compensate for the third day a week that you're not working, but then it's guaranteed that you're always covering a weekend for the company. So they always get weekend coverage, which is harder to get, and then you get more days off in a higher pay per hour. So I did ask my boss, if my boss, the one that doesn't like me at all, I did ask him if he could put me back on as a weekend program employee, which would mean I would be put back on my company's health insurance. So I could, by the way, maybe that's what this episode will be called. By the fucking way, bitch. I know that I'm being a little theatrical, but in general, this is like how I really feel right now. By the way, I'm oh, Jesus Christ, I'm 35. I almost just lied through my teeth. I feel 20, that's why. I'm a 35-year-old woman with no past medical history, no pre-existing conditions. Well, I do have periodontal disease because my mom never took me to the dentist. And then my dad also didn't because he couldn't afford it. Anyways, he did one time. I think he traded a paint job at someone's house for them to see us and do a teeth cleaning. But still, like, I had only been to the dentist, like, I don't know, 5 times, like, in my whole life until I was an adult. And so when I finally did go to the dentist, they were like, you have periodontal disease. And I was like, wow. So the only thing my mom's ever given me, trauma, ringworm, and periodontal disease. That's fucked up. That's and the slow metabolism. Wow. That's actually traumatic. Anyways, what the fuck was I? Oh, so if I go back to the weekend program in my hospital, then I can cancel my private insurance, health insurance, which is $450 a month for a 35-year-old with no health conditions. I don't even have fucking heartburn. I have nothing. There's nothing wrong with me. My blood pressure is fine. I've never had a UTI, for Christ's sakes. I've never had the flu. I've never had strep throat. I'm a relatively healthy young person. And my health insurance is $450. I don't have prescriptions. I get my GLP-1s from an online delivery service that I pay out of pocket for, joinfridays.com. Go to the link in my link tree, please, if you're interested in a GLP-1, and click my Fridays link so I can still keep working with companies, please. If you're interested, only if you're interested. If you're not interested in GLP-1, just ignore what I said. And also I have a $100 off code, Chloe, CHLOE. It's all in my link tree on my social medias. Thank you so much for that. This podcast is not sponsored by them, but Lord knows I wish it was. Okay. So I can go back to the weekend program. I can work 2 days a week full-time doing that to get extra money. I can cancel my health insurance, my private insurance, and I can still work my travel nurse job in Maryland. And then if I do that, I will only have to work 5 days a week. If they won't let me come back full time or for the weekend program, if they're not able to find the FTs for it, then I'll just figure out another way to make money with either picking up in a dialysis clinic at my hospital. They want me to help them out with hours there because I have a work history in dialysis, so I know how to do that, and it's hard to come by people that know how to do that, so I might work in dialysis extra or something. I also am going to start to donate plasma, so I will be documenting that. I think I get $800 from that. Maybe I need to look into it. I'm going to donate plasma. I'm going to I'll private these, but I'm going to start upping my TikTok shop. I'm going to post things in my real life that I use on my TikTok shop. Maybe that will help me. But I'm going to document it all, how I can get up to my $7,000, because I know I can. I just have to do it. I just have to work hard and do it. So that's what's going on. My mind's a little frayed right now. because I just feel like the hits keep coming and they won't stop coming. Now you might be confused because I was working with Amble for a while, and for my GLP-1s, just to update you guys, I was working with Amble for a while, and now I'm working with Fridays. No issues. I didn't have any issues with Amble. I had a great relationship with them. I didn't have any problems. I just have heard really good things about customer service with Fridays and good communication with Fridays. And also they offered a $100 off code for people to sign up under my name. And I know money's tight right now. And for those reasons, it was enticing to I want to give, if you actually are interested in GLP-1s, I want to be able to help people get on GLP-1s with as much financial assistance as possible, because it is expensive. So that's, if anyone was wondering why, that I just wanted to touch on that for a second. Now, I did go to the No Kings rallies, No Kings protests on Saturday. I went to 2 different ones, one in a smaller town in Beaver County in Beaver, and then one in the city of Pittsburgh. I went to the Shady Side location. Timing wise, that's how it worked out. I wanted to go to the one in downtown Pittsburgh, and my sister was going to the one in Beaver, so I ended up going with her to that one. And then by the time we got downtown, that one was over and we went to the Shady Side one. Now, I will have to say, it was really nice to be there. It was nice to see a lot of different people around. It was nice to feel, even at the least, community. At the least, just people. It is different when you hear people online validating you. You can go online and be validated up and down and around and all over. But for me, it's sometimes in real life, it seems like no one around me is acting like anything's going on. Now they kind of do, or we'll kind of have conversations, or we'll kind of touch on it. But almost all the time, I'm in a total state of baseline panic. All the time, I'm wow, what the fuck is going on right now? If I could physically manifest my mind, it would be what the fuck is going on right now? What is happening? What is happening? But I can't do that because it's real life and you can't do that all the time. And 2, I just know, it's crazy to say, I feel like people are over it. They're kind of over it. And so in real life, I generally feel like I can't really express or feel validation in, or a sense of community in real life. Now, me and all of my friends have the same views on this. My boyfriend has the same view on it. My dad has the same view on it. My sister has the same view on it. So I'm not saying that they don't know it exists, but how I express anxiety is I'm very vocal. I'm very I need to talk through it. I need to visually or audibly be validated. That's how I basically burn off anxiety or steam. And a lot of other people don't process things that way. So I'm not saying that they don't care, but the constant conversation, I just don't know if people express themselves that way, and everyone can express themselves differently. But for me, going to the No Kings protest in visually seeing people out in the world, in my community, who are all feeling how I'm feeling, was extremely, what's the word I want to look for? Validating isn't the right word because it's just not. Although that happened, that's not the word I'm looking for. It was soothing. It felt incredibly soothing to see thousands of people who give a fuck enough to leave the house. Like, there's a lot of criticism that I'm hearing online of like the No Kings rallies that are like, so what exactly did you guys accomplish though? Like, you didn't have any demands, no policy change happened. Like, what was the point? And first of all, I would like to say community is the baseline of any revolution, and community is the baseline of mental health. So at a minimum, it accomplished that. At a maximum, do you know how many people I met? Do you know I found out like I have the number and the contact information of like the Democrats for Beaver County, where they're calling all the registered Democrats and asking them if they know to vote November 4th to retain our Supreme Court judges who are liberal, who vote to protect women's rights. Like, so for me personally, what the No Kings protest did is that Democrats for Beaver, they need people to make phone calls. And they said that they would prefer it to be young people because the older people like to go out and canvass and knock on the doors. So for me personally, in my state of Pennsylvania, we have a Supreme Court election November 4th that people have to vote at. It is a necessity. We have to retain our Supreme Court judges in Pennsylvania. The Supreme Court nationally is compromised. They vote based on religion and bias and racism. And they vote based on Christian nationalist ideologies. And they will not vote to protect women's rights, interracial couples, the Voter Rights Act. And so Pennsylvania's Supreme Court needs to stay liberal to make sure women's rights, reproductive rights, etc. are protected. So now I know, and by the way, I've never voted in an election outside of the presidential election in my entire life. I didn't know the importance of it. I didn't know the severity of it. I didn't know the implications of it. So if I've never voted, and I'm extremely politically inclined, if I've never voted in any other election besides the presidential election, the only reason I know about the November 4th election is because social media. Not everyone has social media. So I now know that I can volunteer at this Beaver County Democratic group to make these phone calls to let other registered Democrats know to vote November 4th. That in itself is invaluable. So people try to discredit online, what did the No Kings protest do? A lot. Because for the story that I just told, there's hundreds of other stories like that people can tell. And it's everything that makes the changes. Okay, that's enough about me recapping my week. Let's jump right into tequila time. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, hee, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Ha, ha, ha. That was the remix. Now, if you are new here, there's a few people that commented that they are here because of some of my viral TikToks. They subscribed to my podcast. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. It is my dream and my goal to have a full-time 5-day-a-week podcast, if possible one day. God willing. I always say I'm not religious. It's like the cardinal sin. I'm really not religious until I need something. And then I'm like, God, please let me have a podcast 5 days a week. God, please stop this administration from killing people. God, please stop the genocide in Palestine. But then it's like I don't practice in my everyday life. And I'm not blaming myself on that. I'm blaming the other psychotic Christian people that totally turn me off to their religion. I'm not talking about normal Christians that are nice. I'm talking about the ones that are like, God loves you and gay people should die. And I'm like, whoa, I think I'm going to take a step back from this because it's pretty fucking scary. I don't really like that. And it's confusing to me because you say that you love God, but then you hate other people. Oh my God, it makes my brain go, whoa. Okay. So I do a little bit of like a catch up before, like in the beginning of my podcast, maybe touch on some things going on in my week. And then I cover some tequila time. Get it? Tea, sip the tea, piping hot tequila time, because my name is Talking to Tequila on my social medias. My name is Chloe in real life, though. And one thing about my name being Chloe in real life, it is kind of a popular name in the zeitgeist. Like, there's a brand named Chloe, like is Chloe a clothing brand? Some kind of fashion house. And then like there's a restaurant in DC named Chloe that I'm going to try one of these days. I do believe it's tapas, which Lord knows I love a tapas. And so I actually do like my name Chloe. But Tequila Time and Talking to Tequila are like my kind of alter egos. Sasha Fierce, if you will. So let's jump right into the pop culture stories this week. And my, every week it does get harder for me to integrate pop culture into my podcast because I simply don't give a fuck. But I will say there are some things that come across my desk that pique my interest, and these stories this week have done that. Of course, first and foremost, what everyone is talking about right now is the Louvre Museum in Paris was robbed. I've never in my life given even 1% of time to thinking about the Louvre. I've never had it pass in my daily interactions. I don't think about it at all, which is interesting because I actually love museums. I don't even think I knew the Louvre was a museum. I thought it was just a word that we say. That sounds cool. The Louvre. I probably thought it was a monument up until this week, but apparently the Louvre Museum in Paris was robbed on Sunday, October 19th. The reports are saying 8 pieces of priceless jewelry estimated at about $102 million, which I find to be an oxymoron. Like, I'm reading these news articles. First of all, one news article said 5 pieces of jewelry. One said 8. Can we get it straight? You guys are the journalists, not me. Like, and by the way, that's a vast difference in reporting, okay? So apparently 8 pieces of priceless jewelry, but then you put a price right next to it, so that doesn't make sense, were robbed. Now, when I read how this robbery took place, I'm not going to lie. Listen, unpopular opinion, I don't know what to say. The Louvre kind of had it coming. Because when I read how it happened, it's a shocking. So it was broad daylight. The museum was open. They took this big escalator ladder that's like 2 stories long. They parked it outside the Louvre. They put the ladder up electrically to this window, cut a hole in the window, came into the Louvre with patrons there, took these saw things, cut holes in the glass, which set off the alarms, took 8 pieces of jewelry, and then skedaddled out the ladder again. They said that they were there for 10 minutes. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of robber movies. They always say, we got 90 seconds. We got 120 seconds. When they're robbing a bank, they're like, okay, start the clock. We got 360 seconds. And they're clocking the entire thing. You're telling me robbers took a 2-story ladder, climbed up the side of the Louvre, robbed it with people inside, took 10 minutes, climbed back down the same ladder with alarms going off, and no one caught them? I can't help you. Like, to me, I'm always really aware of like what I am. And like, I'm not a cop. I'm not a news reporter. I'm not a Louvre Museum person, but from the outside looking in, it seems like there was a lot of things that could have been. It seems like a lot of people dropped the ball. I'm sorry. I live in a suburb. I think if someone put a 2-story ladder on my house, there would be a cop here within like 5 minutes being like, what's going on? And I'm like, God, you guys are so nosy. Can you leave me alone? But like, there's alarms going off. And there's a ladder next to the Louvre, and there's not a single cop within a 10-mile radius. Isn't Paris a walking town? Aren't there cops walking all over the place? And it's the Louvre, for God's sakes. There's no cop around. And by the way, it's like when I was at the I was at the Museum of American Art. in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago, and there's a presidential portrait area in that museum, and I flicked off Donald Trump's portrait, and like literally within 2 seconds, two cops were there, and they were like, "You need to delete that." And I was like, "Why? Isn't it like my freedom of expression or something?" And the guy was really cool, and he was like, "Listen, please just delete it." And I was like, "Okay." I deleted it. So I'm just trying to say, you can't have me watch Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12 and The Italian Job and have me give a rip about this shit. I'm sorry, you made heists and robberies extremely family friendly. And also, it's not my fault that rich people like these really exorbitantly dumb things. My favorite pair of earrings were $14 from Old Navy. I have them in right now. I never take them out. My favorite necklace is a silver necklace with a bubble heart from H&M for $8. It is not my problem, and I cannot even have 1 ounce of care in the world that kings and queens like rubies and diamonds and emeralds and silver and gold and all this gaudy shit. I can't care. You know why? Because there's nothing wrong with a $14 earring from Old Navy. We have got to come to a realization here. I don't know what else to say besides that. I mean, now if I meet the robbers and like they're really weird and like, let's say, I don't know. Actually, I'm not even going to speculate about the robbers. At this point, I'm sorry. The Louvre had a 10-minute leeway time of this attempted robbery, and these people with these like $60 million crowns, like that's not my problem. It's like, why would you make a $60 million crown? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And like, so I can't be bothered with this stuff. I've got bigger fish to fry. They're ending Snap in November. I can't possibly care about the Louvre. Now, let's get to the next story. Surviving Mormonism. Heather Gay is a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City housewife. She had left the Mormon church. She's written several books, 1 and 2, I believe, Bad Mormon. Or is it just 1? I think it's 2. But let's just say 1 to be safe. I do believe it's 2. She has recounted her time in Mormonism, her kind of foray into the non-Mormon life. And she's a fan favorite. People love Heather Gay. And now it was just announced that she has taken part in a 3-part docuseries releasing on Peacock November 11th called Surviving Mormonism. And they are following survivors of Mormonism, people that left the Mormon community. Now, I do have to say, you can get into a very tricky, area when you start talking about religion, because you don't want to yuck someone's yum. You don't want to make people feel bad or weird or judge them for their religious beliefs, right? With that being said, there are some religions that I think notoriously have a bad reputation, and probably for good reason. And there's some religions that have a notoriously bad reputation and have real-time allegations happening against them all the time. Now, I want to say everything here is allegedly, in my opinion. I don't know, like, I know with Scientology, I knew more about that because Leah Remini, and so I knew some of the, like, actual allegations, like, you know, they try to take a lot of money. All of this is allegedly, in my opinion. I do not have the mental or emotional bandwidth to be sued. Like, I know that there's allegations of, like, taking or basically demanding a lot of the money be sent to the church. I know it's like if you try to leave, you have to be excommunicated from your friends and family. I know if you try to leave, like, I know allegedly, in my opinion, if you try to leave, that they'll, harass you and scare you and things like that. So like for me, it's very easy to say, oh, Scientology, like they're fucking crazy, allegedly, in my opinion. So, but with Mormonism, I don't know that much about the religion. I know it's considered pretty oppressive. I know that there's like a hierarchy, and I'm pretty sure the hierarchy is like white, straight male, and then everything below that is like just sub everything after that. I think, allegedly, in my opinion. I know that they have those videos on TikTok all the time where they go around to those, like, there's some college in Utah that is like almost all Mormons there. And they go around and ask them questions, and like the answer is always wrong. Like, always wrong. Like, they'll go around and be like, allegedly, in my opinion, like, oh, do you support gay marriage? And they're like, no, because it's a sin and you're going to go to hell. And you're like, whoa. Why? What is the freaking hard on with religion and like judging everyone? Can you guys relax? You're going to make my hands can get pretty flexed back. Can you guys relax? My God. Like, what is up with the hyper judgmental and like condemning everyone to hell? Can we just relax with that stuff? So I don't know that much about Mormon religion, but I do know that it's been quite traumatizing for a lot of people. I know like Heather has said like the wife is always submissive and has to like abide by the husband. And it's like, I'm so tired of that too. Can we just stop with that as well? Oh, abide by the husband, abide by the husband. Why? Why? I can go to work. I can maintain a household. I can cook dinner. I can take care of my dogs. I can do all this stuff. I can multitask and do all this stuff, but I can't decide like what kind of car we drive. Please. Like the husband gets to decide. Oh, so basically what you're telling me is the husband gets to do all the fun stuff. I don't subscribe to that. And neither does my boyfriend. Thank God. We're a very 50-50 partnership. So I'm looking forward to this new TV show, this new docuseries. I'm looking forward to more of a deep dive into what Mormon culture is. I know that for a long time, it came up in the reunions, I think, a lot. Like Heather, I think at one point said that like African Americans or Black people were not even considered like full people until like the 70s or 80s or something in the Mormon culture, or like you weren't even allowed to be a Mormon. Like something really just, all these psycho religions are like have these fucking insane rules and regulations and like the beliefs that are just, honestly, it's like who made these rules up? Just an old bitch. I know that. I know for sure it was just an old miserable bitch. Okay, now next story in the last story. Gucci Mane, I'm going to say Gucci Mane. I think that's what it is. I'm just going to say, maybe I'll just say Gucci. Gucci was on The Breakfast Club this week and revealed that he's been battling schizophrenia throughout his life. His wife was also on the podcast and talked about how she's been very supportive of him through this revelation and through this process. And in the interview particularly, because they really dove into it, one, he highlighted that the reason they think that he got this schizophrenia was from drug use, stress, and not sleeping. Now, there is something called drug-induced schizophrenia. I've known many people to get drug-induced schizophrenia. My mom has drug-induced schizophrenia. And I am just going to glaze over that. I'm not getting into that right now. Please. I just cannot. I mean, what can I say about it? Like, Ativan's a bitch, and doctors that prescribe things to line their own pockets or to just be dismissive of things should go to jail. Anyways. He also said that he's in a very good spot right now because of therapy and medication. So I thought this was a really interesting topic because I find that it is really hard to see men, especially young men who I still consider like very culturally relevant, talk about mental health in such a vulnerable way, in such a impressive in just like open forum. I think these kind of conversations, I really appreciated Charlemagne, I think, talking, like really diving into this in asking questions that were really investigative, because to make that announcement is one thing, but to really hear someone say like what they think caused it, like how it's important to regulate your stress, how it's important. Like he was literally naming, I think lean, he was saying with the drugs that he had been on lean and things like that. It's like all of that combined like helped aid in this schizophrenia that he now has to deal with for the rest of his life, and how therapy and medication were really helpful to him in a time right now where it's like medication is coming under such ridicule with the administration and RFK and all these people. And it's like really refreshing to hear someone come out and say like, I did have this issue and like medication did help me and therapy did help me. His wife says she is like heavily involved in his treatment and in his care. She has like the passwords to all his social medias. By the way, this is something I really appreciated with his wife. And this is why I fuck with riders heavily, big time. Because she said when he's going through an episode, you would never fucking know it because she protects him. She takes his phones away. She changes the password, or she makes sure he can't be on social media. Like her priority is protecting her partner and not extorting her partner or not taking advantage of her partner or not using her partner to benefit herself whenever he's going through things like this. Because he said a lot of his friends, he loved to give things away when he was in episodes, and his friends would know that he was in an episode or know that he was not in a good spot, and they would accept the gifts. Like true riders and true blue soulmates and friends and partners are really hard to come by. People that don't want to take advantage of you, people that want the best for you, people that are going to support you. And the fact that Gucci Mane has a wife whose priority is to help him succeed and get through these hard times and episodes. Now they said, I think he said he hasn't even had an episode since like COVID-ish time because of the therapy and the medication, but COVID was hard for a lot of people. It was really seclusive. It was mentally a really, I mean, for me personally during COVID times, I was on the edge. That's when I started travel nursing. I mean, I started travel nursing because I felt like I was at a point in my life at a wall where I felt so mentally, I was to the point where I was ready to be like punch out. Like I mentally was really fucked up, and like a Hail Mary for me, like to try to re-grasp my grip on life was to travel nurse. And it literally saved me. Like travel nursing literally saved me. So I get why Gucci Gucci Mane said that like that was a hard time for him. But overall, I just thought that was a really interesting story. I felt like I wanted to shout out, I think it's Kaisha is his wife's name. I wanted to shout her out because for her to really prioritize his health and his safety is to have a partner like that is invaluable. And if you don't have a partner like that, you can get a partner. Like do not settle is all I'm trying to say. Like you can have someone that you feel like is a real partner to you in life. You know what I mean? Now, I quickly want to touch on Cluvy time. things are really weird these days. And one of the things that has helped me stay grounded and like achieve escapism, because it used to be pop culture a lot and now not so much with pop culture, because it's just, you know, sometimes it's like exhausting, you know, it's like Kim Kardashian's on this red carpet with her new TV show coming out. And I'm like, man, it's really weird how everyone's just pretending Kim Kardashian's an actress now. She sucks. She's a horrible actress. She sucks. And she's selfish. I can't stand Kim Kardashian anymore. So funny. If I had a list of people, I would have like gone to the battle. The list of people I would have gone to battle for in 2019 versus the people I would go to battle for in 2025 are mind explodingly different. Your mind would explode at the difference of people I would go to bat for. I used to be like, Kim Kardashian, like, well, she seems really nice and this and this and this and this. And it's like, honey, that woman is selfish and evil. To me, in my personal opinion, if you reach a status of exorbitant wealth and the first thing you do and the most heavily focused thing you do is not help people, you to me are actually the worst of the worst. You are the worst of the worst. And no one come out my front doorstep like, oh, well, she probably does donate or this or that. Stop. I'm talking about if you reach exorbitant wealth and you are not out visually like how Angelina Jolie was. I'm not saying you need to go and go to third world countries or this or that if you're scared. If you like don't know how you could help people or like you don't want to like put like whatever. It's all that would just be an excuse anyways. If you ouch, I had to scratch my face, sorry. If you are not out visually just constantly bringing awareness to people that need help, and no one come to my front doorstep like, oh, well, she wants to help incarcerated individuals. Does she? I know tens of thousands of people in jail right now without due process because ICE has been let off its leash. Is she speaking about that? Or does she just pick one person every few months and post and get the whatever? No. I'm talking about boots on the ground. I'm talking real progressive change all the time. Not whatever the fuck she's doing. Not going to dinner with her best friend whose dad is the president, who is literally like evil reincarnate and just like kikiing and going to dinner. What the fuck? So anyways, pop culture used to be my escape. Now it's not anymore. Barely. Sometimes it is. Depending. Pedro Pascal? Yes. Cillian Murphy? Yes. Zendaya? Absolutely. Rihanna? Go off. But like some of these other people, no. I'm not interested in you at all. But the escapism I have found has been in movies. And my, I know that these movies have already been out for so long. I believe 2015 and 2018, I want to say. I just watched Sicario again since the original time I watched it with Benito del Toro. Really cute in that movie. And then there's a second one, Sicario something. Look it up, it'll come. I just watched those again for the second one I had never seen and the first one I saw years and years ago. Oh my God, dude. Such good movies. Really took my mind off things. I was in the land of DEA, CIA, Benito del Toro, and it was great. So it is basically like a behind the scenes gritty look at like the federal government and its war on drugs And if you like stuff like that, if you like Green Zone, if you like the Born Identity, Born Supremacy, Born Ultimatum, if you like Michael Clayton, if you like, let me think what else. Zero Dark 30, like you would love this movie. So that's my Cluey time recommendation. And I think that's a wrap. I think we can wrap it this week. I think we touched on some good topics. I hope that this week wasn't too, I don't consider this to be too much of a down week. I think it was refreshing, right? Like I feel like it was just like a spitting facts week. Like it was like a by the fucking way, let's just be real, you know? So I'm happy with today's episode. I don't know. It was kind of was a bitch session, but like sometimes, like, I'm sorry, are we gonna act like bitch sessions aren't therapeutic? I love a bitch session. Like when people are like, oh, like I just really like vibrate off positivity. I'm like, okay, that's kind of boring. I mean, I like positivity too. That's why sometimes I dance and do my eating videos and stuff. Like it is fun to be positive too, right? But sometimes it's really fun to just bitch your fucking little face off. Like sometimes it's like and it's kind of validating and it makes you feel alive. So I consider this like a girl talk bitch session, which is absolutely needed for the soul every now and again. And maybe next week it'll just be fun, flirty, and thriving. Who knows? Although I do think that this was a fun episode. I hope. I think I'm like the minority though in saying like I really do love, like I really like a bitch session. I honestly think if you're saying you do, and I think if you don't like a bitch session, it's like stop falling under these social constraints that we all need to be happy all the time and have a rainbow up our freaking asshole. Sometimes you got a damn dick up your ass, and that dick right now is the administration and fucking financial burden. And sometimes it's okay to say, I'm sick of getting fucked. And that's what this week was, and that's totally fine. I'm not apologizing for anything. Can you tell I'm nervous? I'm like, oh my God, I made a whole bunch of people listen to me for the first time on the internet. And they're going to turn this off and be like, whoa, she's a little moody, huh? I'm fun too sometimes. It's hard to be fun right now. Sue me. Lock me up. Okay. Now, like, rate, review, subscribe, share. Can you guys share clips of my podcast if I post them? Thank you so much. I don't ask for much, but I'm going to ask for that. Like, rate, review, share, subscribe, talk, blip, 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 and tell your friends about me, tell your family about me, download on your phone. I would really love if people started making videos where they clipped my podcast and they're like, how is this girl not famous yet? And then it's like, then that will maybe like this is a group effort, because if I rise, you guys rise, we all rise with the ships, the tides rise with the ships and go up. You know what I mean? Because if I do become rich, I will be giving a lot of money away. I'm telling you guys that right now. My pockets will be open. Now, until next week, bye.